Each week, Wells Fargo Bank brings us stories of athletes who have overcome adversity in their lives to succeed in school and in sports.
This week, Kevaney Martin joins us with the story of the community feeling the loss of one of its own.
Marissa, last year at this time, Chris Bush was an athletic, powerful force for the Pioneer Mustang basketball team. Also a star baseball player and an outstanding student. Bush was having a great time at Pioneer. That all changed halfway through his baseball season. Chris Bush had just come off a sterling complete game performance for the Mustang baseball team when he began to feel weak. It was the start of a spiraling illness shocking the Pioneer High School community.
He had just pitched maybe a 2-hit shutout at Branham High School and got a couple of hits and started not to feel well. Was out of school for a week, and it was then we figured there's something wrong because he didn't ever miss school. They told us he had ALL, which is a form of leukemia.
At first, the diagnosis was scary but optimistic. The type of leukemia Chris had was nearly always curable. As the treatments wore on, Chris was improving. Doctors remained optimistic. The strength he displayed for so many years in sports naturally became visible in his fight against cancer.
He was so strong through all of it, though. His personality, he just was so stable through it all, making sure that that no one else was scared for him.
After 2 months of treatments and chemotherapy came the devastating news. There was now a new leukemia, known as ALM, the type that is curable only about half the time.
Our first thought was he'll get better, a couple months, and he'll be back on the court, and we were trying to think as positive as we could. And of course, things started to go down.
Chris battled over the summer trying to get to the point where he was healthy enough for a bone marrow transplant. In October, just days before his first bone marrow treatment, Chris's health worsened. This past October, Chris lost his 6-month battle to leukemia.
It was unbelievable. It was kind of a sense of, am I dreaming?
Other schools showed support. Leland High hung a banner at a football game, and the Westmont basketball players had these t-shirts made, 2 gestures that showed just how many lives this young man touched.
You have to have seen it. You have to go to the Leland game knowing you wanted to take some pictures and see the sign there and just kind of get taken back that somebody else would put a sign up. He's been in the baseball community around that they know of him, and I knew that. But I don't really know exactly why Westmont would go to that effort. There aren't enough words to sort of describe how surprised you are that the opposing team in a tournament game would do that.
This story is not how one athlete has overcome adversity. It's the story of how the legacy of one athlete lives on in the immense impact Chris had and still has on his family, coaches, and teammates.
More Pioneer as Chris Bush hops into the lane. His jumper bounces up and in.
We tried to replicate, and try to play the way he played. They miss him. There's not a day we don't think about him. There's not a day that we don't talk about him. There's just, he just meant a lot to us. He will always mean a lot to us.
His legacy is just, work hard, don't complain, give 100% of the time.
On January 12th, Pioneer held a ceremony to retire Chris's number. His jersey now permanently hangs in honor and remembrance.
And now, Coach Bertisevich and Coach Bush will officially retire number 24 for Pioneer basketball history.
It was nice to have that and be able to come here to practice and come to the games and know that he's right there.
Chris Bush left a presence at Pioneer High that will continue to touch lives for many years. For now, all the team can do is celebrate the beautiful life of an unbelievable young man and keep the memory of Chris Bush alive.
We got 1, 2, 3, Bush! 4, 5, 6,
Mustangs! So the Mustangs play on with Chris on their minds and hearts at all times.
Yeah, it's really a tragic story. I was at Pioneer quite a bit last spring, and everybody was talking about it. Everybody thought that he was going to get better, and then the horrible news in October, just really, really tough.